Thank you for your interest in this Swanson Reed slideshow. This slideshow has been prepared based on the information released on the 1st of April 2022 by the Australian Government. The focus of today's presentation is on the Industry Research and Development Clinical Trials Determination 2022. On the 1st of April 2022, Industry Innovation and Science Australia, in consultation with the Australian Tax Office and the Department of Health, released a determination regarding whether clinical trials are considered core R&D activities or not. If your organisation is conducting a clinical trial, you may be able to save time with your R&D tax incentive application by relying on this determination. Firstly, what is a determination? R&D tax incentive determinations are binding advice about how the law is interpreted and applied in relation to the R&D tax incentive program. The government has developed these to help make registration quicker. If a determination applies to one or more of your R&D activities, it may reduce the amount of time spent on registration. One of these determinations is the Industry Research and Development Clinical Trials Determination 2022. The Australian Government states that clinical trials require careful planning, monitoring, and regulatory oversight to minimise risks. Activities involved in clinical trials that are covered by this determination are deemed to meet the requirements of the R&D tax incentive for being core R&D activities. The same eligibility requirements apply. What this means is that 1. The outcome of clinical trial activities covered by this determination cannot be known or determined in advance. 2. The outcome can only be determined by applying a systematic progression of work. 3. The clinical trials covered by the determination must be conducted for the purpose of generating new knowledge. The first opportunity to make known your intention to rely on the determination is under the question, what was the hypothesis? The Australian Government has provided a shortcut boilerplate text that can be used. Note that applicants may also indicate an intention to use the determination at other questions, namely, a brief description of the activity and/or what new knowledge is this core activity intended to produce, if applicable, i.e., if you have answered yes to the question, does this core activity commence after the end of your income period for this application? The boilerplate provided by the Australian Government is shown in the slide. Simply copy and paste this text, ensuring to insert your organisation's CTA or CTN as applicable. The CTA or CTN would have been provided to the company when the trial was registered with the TGA. The evidence of registration, as well as evidence of payment of registration, should be kept with other evidence of activities. Note also that it is important to use the full name of the determination. After the hypothesis, it is acceptable to use various shortcut responses. Simply use the provided shortcut responses that AusIndustry has provided. Per normal requirements, any activities that were undertaken overseas need pre-approval. If applying for advance or overseas findings, this determination can only be used if all parts of the core R&D activity occur solely in Australia. If any part of the activity occurs overseas, for example, if the evaluation or conclusions are sent to a parent company overseas, then the activity will not be deemed to be an Australian core activity. Be aware that the timelines for advance and overseas findings differ from the standard submission deadline, so be sure to ask us about this as early as possible. There are also stricter conditions and more preparation required, although the determination still goes some way to simplifying the application. AusIndustry notes that some clinical trials do not involve an unknown outcome. Other trials involve commercialisation activities. If this is the case for you and your organisation, you will not be able to rely on this determination. The work undertaken may still be eligible core R&D. However, applicants will need to demonstrate how the activities meet that criteria independently. That is, you will no longer be able to rely on this determination. However, in general, the determination goes some way to expedite and simplify registration of clinical trial activities. We hope this has been helpful for you and your organisation. Information in this slideshow has been adapted from the Australian Government's website, business.gov.au. If you have further questions, please access business.gov.au/grants and programs and search for the Research and Development Tax Incentive. Swanson Reed welcomes feedback about the resources we make available to the public. Please get in touch via our website if you wish to share your thoughts. Otherwise, we hope this has been of benefit to you and your organisation. Thank you for your attention.